DJI has done it again. This is the Osmo Action 2, and it's as good, if not better, than all of the leaks that you've heard of.
What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody?
The Osmo Action 2 absolutely annihilates anything that was remotely close to this, from FPV to action cameras in general, or mobile filmmaking devices. Nobody is safe. 4K 120 on a 48 megapixel camera, and this thing only weighs 55 grams. Not to mention the other insane features like induction charging and internal storage. The Osmo Action 2 is an absolute powerhouse. But enough hyping this up. This is not a DJI sponsored video. So essentially what we're doing in this video, with such a monumental industry disruptor, I figured it would be appropriate to tell you all of the new features about this device. But then I'll actually show you how to use it, and then you really don't want to miss out on the last part of the video where I'm going to tell you about my personal preferences using this device. I've been using it for just over a month now, and there are a few really big mistakes that were really embarrassing that I made right away. So make sure that you either watch or at least skip to that chapter of the video so that you don't make some of the mistakes that I've made. Let's get into it. What's new with the DJI Osmo Action 2? As previously mentioned, this is a 48 megapixel camera that shoots 4K 120 frames per second stabilized footage. It only weighs 55 grams compared to the 150 or the 170 of most other action cameras. It has a 155-degree field of view. You can see around your hand when you're trying to grab it. This is straight up the widest camera I have ever laid my eyes on. Not only does it have an upgraded ROCKSTEADY stabilization, which I didn't know was possible, but it also has the horizon lock option for whether or not you're on a selfie stick or using this as an FPV pilot. Now, this device is so much more than what you see here. Oh snap, cut that out, cut that out. No one needs these bad puns. With the snap of a magnet, you have an OLED screen that actually holds its own power bank, and you can put an SD card in the back of it. So now you have the option whether or not you want a front-facing screen or just an extra charge. Both of these hold an SD card on the back of them. But again, this device has internal storage on its own. And even better, you can transfer that internal storage onto one of these backup devices. Now, as much as I love the original Osmo Action, obviously there was gonna be a few drawbacks, but not bad for their first action camera. Let me go over all of the specs, the new features, and give you an actual performance review. First and foremost, check out this new design. This magnetic cube is 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches, 1.76 inch OLED screen, and you have the option to attach or detach a front-facing OLED screen, as well as optional battery packs. Camera specs. Now, aside from the GoPro Hero 10, this is the only action camera on the market that records 4K 120 and does it with stabilization. Field of view. This camera is a 155-degree field of view at f2.8. This is going to be comparable to a 8mm lens. Now, if you don't want to go super wide, you can always just use the regular wide FOV, or you can use their dewarped cinematic footage. Now, while you're recording, you can actually zoom up to 4 times at 1080p or zoom in 2 times in 4K. Now, if you're familiar with the original ROCKSTEADY, this is an improved algorithm for it. You can literally run with just this cube in your hand. You look a little bit ridiculous, but the footage that you would get on this rivals any sort of mobile stabilizer. On top of that, DJI has introduced HORIZONSTEADY as their latest stabilization, which will be handy if you attach this camera to your pet's collar, to your ATV, your motorcycle, any sort of really jarring and jumpy footage that you would normally get. Audio recording. This little device here has 4 built-in microphones to produce stereo audio. Now, if you're looking at this as a potential camera for vlogging, it does an amazing job. This is what it sounds like. There's loud noises out behind me all the time, but for the most part, the studio is very quiet. Now, I have one of my friends doing a full breakdown on the Osmo Action 2 and what its implications are gonna be for the FPV market. So definitely feel free to go check out his video. His name is Thomas and he is incredible. But a quick summary, this is game changing for the FPV market. Coming in at only 55 grams, this is gonna replace all of the GoPro sessions on the market with just better video quality, better stabilization. This will probably cut 10% of the weight off of your FPV drone. And then again, with internal storage, you can shoot, attach it to your power bank, transfer all of that footage while you charge your device between flights and change batteries. And if you manage to break the back of this screen, you always have a detachable OLED front-facing screen. And you can control this camera from your phone using the DJI MIMO app for just like a little bit more flexibility, or if you want a bigger monitor for when you're recording. Other cool specs. This device is also submergible up to 10 meters. It has induction charging through magnets, and these magnets are insane. Go check out the cinematic video I did and see how it performs. On top of all of these amazing features, they still kept the best from the Osmo Action original, such as slow motion, time lapses, and hyperlapses. And DJI has also introduced a new feature called QUICKCLIPS. QUICKCLIPS is going to be super convenient for making sure that you stay within the 15-second boundary for Instagram stories, or the 30-second to 60-second time limit for Instagram Reels and TikToks. And do you remember the AI editor that they've introduced in the master shots on the Air 2S? DJI has integrated their AI editing software to edit your QUICKCLIPS for you. So if you use the QUICKCLIPS, it will slice them up into a video and essentially do the editing for you. It's getting way too easy to make videos. I think my job's on the line. Since we first recorded this video, there has been a software update that enabled a longer battery life in all three of these modules. Now, before I give you these numbers, let me just like foreclose and give you this disclosure that this is lab tested, recording at 1080p in power reserve mode, 30 frames a second with no other features enabled. So like no image stabilization, nothing. If you are recording on just the camera by itself with these settings, you should get around 70 minutes. If you have the camera unit attached to the power module, you should get around 180 minutes. 3 hours, okay. That's a lot longer than I anticipated. Now, if you're using the camera module with the OLED screen attached to it, you're still gonna get 160 minutes, which is pretty impressive that you only lose 20 minutes considering there's a whole other screen to power. Now, in my experience, and again, remember I was using multiple different versions of the software, on and off recording, I could easily use one of these devices for an hour. So if I had this plugged in recording 4K ROCKSTEADY, 4K 60 ROCKSTEADY, and attached to one of these power banks, I was usually good for at least an hour. Just the camera itself, we had it head mounted on the helicopter ride, which was about 25 minutes total before it died. And that was in extreme cold, like minus 60 degrees Celsius, which I feel is more than enough for me personally in my uses. But again, these charge relatively fast, just keep them charged as you go. And I have no confirmation that this will supercharge your device. New action stick, shoot 16K. Internal storage. One of the best features about this device is its internal storage. Currently, these devices hold 22 gigabytes of internal storage, but from what I understand and what I heard, that should be up to 32 gigabytes in the next update. And if I'm wrong, then I'm terribly sorry, but the number that I had heard was 32. And then once you're done your risky action adventure activities, all you need to do is attach one of the power banks with a micro SD card in it. You can transfer all of that footage from your internal storage to your micro SD to clear that off. It's not currently available on this device because it's in the beta software, but it's an insane feature that just makes this device so much better. How much does it cost? We already know you want one. You just want to know how much it's going to run you. So there are two different combinations that you can buy. You can either purchase the DJI dual screen combo. That'll be $519 US. Or you have the power combo, which is gonna come in around $399 US. For reference point, the GoPro Hero 10 currently costs $500 US. So, I mean, it's right on the money with where it should be priced, especially considering this is a huge OLED front-facing screen. So there's the big answer to the big question. 520, 400. Now that we know what this camera is capable of, let me run you through exactly how to use it with all the different shortcuts, interfaces that they've integrated into a single button and a couple of swipes on the screen. Now, first and foremost, the swipes are gonna be very similar to if you just tap the screen. So it's all up to personal preference there. The button. Press and hold to turn the device on or off. Tap once to take a photo or start recording, or tap twice to switch camera modes. If you tap more than twice, it will cycle through all the different modes. Screen. In the top left of the screen, it's going to show you how much recording time you have left or photo storage. If you tap the icon on the left side, you can review your media, where you can play back, swipe through, favorite or delete this footage, and switch from internal to SD card recording. If you're in video mode, the bottom left is going to display the video resolution. So you can choose what you want to record in, and in the top right of that menu, you can activate ROCKSTEADY. If you're in photo mode, in the bottom left, you can change the aspect ratio of your photo and set a self timer. If you're in time-lapse mode, you can switch between time and hyperlapse. And there's a couple of preset modes for different scenes that you might be shooting. And in hyperlapse, it's going to tell you the rate of your photos. And in the top right, it'll tell you the resolution of your time or hyperlapse. In the bottom right, that's where we're going to see our magnification. Tap on it and you can change and zoom in depending on the resolution of your footage. If you tap on the right side, that's going to be all of your video or photo settings. For video settings, we have exposure, white balance, color profile, and FOV, where you can change how warped your image is. In our photo settings, we have our exposure, white balance, FOV, and our file type, so JPEG or RAW. And just a note, right now we have Pro mode activated. However, if you have Pro mode deactivated, you won't see these options when you tap on the right-hand side. So if you don't want to deal with any of that, just turn your Pro mode off. For myself, as well as most camera enthusiasts, we'll probably activate that so that we can get the most out of this device. When we swipe down, we have all of our menu options. We'll have options like full screen, switching storage from SD card to internal. We can lock our screen, or we have our other settings. This part of the menu is for more specific settings, more in-depth settings of the Osmo Action 2, but I don't want to bore you or waste your time, so we're just going to skip over that, and I'll mention my favorite ones at the end of the video. Now if we go back one screen, here we can swap into Pro mode. You also have your options for voice control, your orientation lock, and your brightness of your screen. Now, on top of all of the camera features, you can go live with this device, and even when you plug it into the computer, it gives you an option on screen to turn this into a webcam. Personal preferences and recommendations. After using this over the past few weeks, I've come to learn a few things that I wish I had known when I first started using this device. If I were to go and film with this right now, for the most part, my preferred settings and shooting style for this device is either going to be 4K 24 or 4K 60 if I'm intending on using that shot for slow motion. If not, I would prefer to keep it in 24 just to have a smoother image overall. And then I would be in Pro mode for sure, because the auto ISO and the auto exposure on this tends to fluctuate a little too much for my liking. So I would make sure that I set it in manual mode. And for the FOV, I really do love the look of the dewarped cinematic mode. Unless I'm intending to get a fisheye looking shot, I'm probably gonna use the cinematic crop dewarp FOV for this. A couple of other things that you really do wanna note. On this device, it will automatically set your video to be compressed. If you want the highest level of video, you wanna go into those extra settings, and there's an option to change the compression of your video from most efficient to the highest quality. I made that mistake. I really wish I didn't. Obviously, the compressed footage did not look as sharp as the other footage that we ended up shooting later, but you live and learn and you watch these videos and never make that mistake. And a few other things to note is the main difference between hyper and time-lapse is that hyperlapse automatically creates a video for you. In time-lapse, you can take photos and you have the options to shoot JPEG and RAW and get a preview of that time-lapse. But if you just want specifically video and you want to be able to use that right away, I would just go with the hyperlapse option. The end result from the hyperlapse seemed to be a lot more smooth than the time-lapse option when we put this on the dashboard of the car. A couple of things I would steer clear of is using the slow-mo mode. I would just shoot in 4K 60 or 4K 120 because there's no stabilization in the slow-mo mode, which was very frustrating to find out after the fact. I mean, you can warp stabilize to an extent, but it's not the same. And I would definitely not count on the digital zoom. It's just not there. You can only ask so much from this, you know? Finally, I just want to remind you that I'm not getting paid to make this video. I got hired to make a promo video for the release of this device. It's an action-packed 60 seconds of my adventures over the last month. But if you really want to help me out, just smash that subscribe button. I'm always just stoked to have new technology, and I really truly believe that this device is going to change the action camera industry, possibly even the FPV industry. I'm personally curious to see how often I'm going to be using this day to day and devices this can replace for me personally. So I will definitely update you along my adventure with that. Let me know your thoughts because I'm probably a little bit biased. Do you think this is worth the purchase? It's been a game changer so far. Thanks for watching this video, and that's all. I'm out.